Sup y'all, it's your boy Asmongold, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about artifact weapons and more specifically artifact power. Now before I really get into the main topic of this video too much, what I want to do is explain how artifact power works right now, just so you guys can see kind of like where my concerns are coming from. So right now in the Legion beta, you can get artifact power from doing pretty much anything. You can get it from PvP, dungeons, raids, world quests, elite mobs, treasures. Probably by the end of the expansion, you're going to be able to get it from pet battles, okay? So you can get it from pretty much doing anything, and what you do with that artifact power is you use it to level up your artifact weapon. Now, if anybody doesn't know, you get one weapon for the entirety of the expansion of Legion, and you level that weapon up throughout the expansion. And how you level it up is through artifact power, mainly. And so anyway, you can use this artifact power to buy traits in your artifact weapon. There are major and minor traits. The major traits, well, the minor traits are like a Raging Blow does 3% more damage. Like one of your main abilities does 3% more damage. Something increases your damage by like 10%, and it stacks up to 3 times. And so they're like kind of like minor damage boosts, but whenever you have all of them, it makes a really, really big difference. And the major traits have the little elite player frame around them, and pretty much those are pretty much bigger passive buffs, right? And so you get one activated ability at the beginning, and then you usually, I think most of the trees have 3 major traits. And so one of mine as a warrior, it's called I don't even remember what it's called, honestly, but it's really good. And so increases execute's damage every single time you use execute. It increases execute's damage by 5%, and it stacks up to 99 times. And so that's like 400% extra damage on execute, and so it basically makes warriors gods for execute phase if the execute phase lasts long enough. And so the point that I'm really trying to make there is that these traits really do make a big difference, and the artifact power is what allows you to buy these traits. And the traits become progressively more expensive the more of them you buy. And so you kind of have to, one thing I really do like about Legion is that they're bringing back a lot of the complexity that the original game had, that I thought really kind of allowed players to really build their character in a way that they wanted to. Now, of course, that we all probably, everybody that's watching videos about the game on YouTube is probably just going to go to the best website that tells you which buttons to click, and they're just going to click the right buttons, and that's going to be it. But for a normal player who's not really super serious, it does kind of allow them some customization for how they really want to play their character and what they really want to focus on, and I consider that a very, very good thing. You have the new PvP prestige system where you can choose your PvP talents, and now you also have this artifact power talent system as well. So the point that with that is that obviously there's going to be a lot more complexity to the to this artifact weapon, and you can I guess like reset your talents for the artifact weapon, but it does cost a lot. And also the more traits that you buy, which is what I was saying a second ago, the more traits that you buy, the more expensive it gets. And so the first trait is like 100, second trait's 200, third trait's 300, fourth trait is like maybe 450, third trait, and it goes increasingly more and more and more and more. And like that, I think I'm like trait 11 or 12 or 13, I don't even remember. And it's costing me now something like 13, was it not 13,000, like 1,200 artifact power. And so obviously this stacks up very, very quickly. And the thing that I guess I kind of like the current concern that I have with this is that I'm worried that the artifact weapons will behave in the same way that the legendary ring did in Warlords of Draenor right now, or does in Warlords of Draenor right now, and the legendary cloak behaved in Mists of Pandaria. And what that did is it kind of allowed or made people have to pretty much farm out that legendary cloak in order to be competitive in raiding. Now, I don't really think that that's entirely a bad thing, but whenever doing that is such a long process and it's expected for people to do throughout the entire expansion, it's very difficult for people to come back into the game and be able to get back into it in the same way that they used to be. Back in Burning Crusade or back in Vanilla or something, something like that, you were able to just go and do Karazhan with your guild and pretty much get decent gear enough to where you can move up into maybe at least like bottoming out damage in Black Temple. But right now the problem is that there's such a big differentiation between the top end and the low end gear. You need kind of these big boosts like the Legendary Ring or the Legendary Cloak in order to stay competitive. And what I worry that that's going to do is it's going to make it harder for players to come back into the game, and That's really the main concern. I think that some people are worried about playing alts and everything like that, but my personal opinion is I think that Blizzard should make the game, they should make it to where if you only want to play one character, you can play that character for a lot of time every single day and still be able to, I guess, like improve and move forward with that one character. So you don't feel like you have to play other characters in order to still feel like you're progressing in the game. And so that's something that I think is very, very important with the game, and I'm very glad that they're bringing that back with Legion. And I'm actually very happy with Legion in general in a lot of ways. Some ways I'm not, of course, but this is just really kind of a concern that I have, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. Now, not only does artifact power and the artifact trait levels give you more, it gives you the traits and the bonuses from that, but it also gives you more stamina. And so it only gives you like 1% more stamina, but whenever you have like 10 or 20 levels over somebody, that's 10 or 20% more life on top of the life that you have from your gear. And so that really does make a very, very big differentiation between a lower level player and a higher level player. Now, one thing that I think is very good about Legion, and one of their goals in Legion, is to lower the gap between higher level players and lower level players. I remember back in Burning Crusade, and I'll go back to that again, and even in Vanilla, the difference between being able to, having full Karazhan gear and having maybe full SSC gear and maybe having full Black Temple gear was not really that big of a jump as it would be to having right now, like maybe full Highmaul normal gear to Blackrock Foundry Mythic to Hellfire Citadel Mythic. There are huge power jumps each time, and I'm really hoping that Blizzard will kind of like smooth those out so players really won't feel like whenever they do come back to the game after taking a break for a couple of months, they're just so far behind it's overwhelming. And so what I really hope that Blizzard does, and I honestly, guys, usually I have kind of like my own solutions to this, and I'll kind of talk about some of my solutions, but I really don't know what they can do, but I just really hope that they're able to find a middle ground. Now, one thing that they do have right now with artifact weapons is they have artifact weapon research, and I don't really know entirely how this works because it's not working correctly on beta, and it didn't work on alpha either, but my understanding is that every 5 days you can place a research order with your order hall resources, and that will allow you to, once that research order is filled, that will allow you to gain artifact power more quickly. And so to put it into perspective again, I probably should have said this earlier in the video, is that most things that you get that reward you with artifact power will give you maybe like 50 to 100 artifact power. And so, whenever you're on trait 20 or something like that, and you need to get something like, I don't know, like probably 100,000 artifact power, that's a really, really big grind. And so I'm really hoping that they can make it to where people can, work on this artifact weapon throughout the expansion and really kind of be able to build on it and everything, but at the same time it won't kind of be this thing where you feel like you have to farm it every single day and you have to stay competitive with it and you have to get every single trait. The way that I'm looking at my artifact weapon at least is that you can get 80% of your power and 20% of the upgrades, and the other 20% of your power is going to take the other 80% of the upgrades. And so I think that's a very, very good system, and it allows people to kind of, at least in some ways, stay kind of on an equal footing. So I'm kind of concerned about that. I hope that the artifact power research will allow people who maybe don't really play as much but still want to be able to stay at least kind of competitive to have that little, just like kind of have that research increasing the amount of artifact power that they get. So I guess like they're not really just kind of left behind if they don't really have all the time in the world to play the game. And another concern that some people have is that this will affect like world first races and like super high end rating. Personally, like my opinion is like that is really kind of irrelevant. I mean, like there's like 1,000 people that do that, and I don't really think the Blizzard should cater the game around any 1,000 people. It doesn't matter who they are. So I hope that Blizzard makes the right decision and they make the game engaging and enjoyable for the 99.999% of people, and not just the top 0.001% of people. As a person that I'm not the top percentage of people in rating, but I have been with achievement points and also with other stuff. I don't really think the game should be catered around one individual or one type of individual. What I think it should do is it should try to make Blizzard should try and focus on making a rewarding, engaging, and compelling game experience. And I really hope that Artifact Weapons kind of create a middle ground or reach a middle ground between making it to where you have to farm it every single day, or you're just falling behind and you're not going to be able to have a spot in your raid, and then also something that you just have to do and it's done in the first month and nobody ever cares about it after that. And so I really hope that they can create a middle ground there and make it to where it's not a barrier to entry for raiding, and it's actually a reward for playing the game more, and it helps you, do better with your character and everything else like that. So I do hope that you guys agree with me. I hope you guys feel the same way. But until next time, I'll be obviously paying very, very good attention to this, and I really do hope that they can do something about it, but I don't really know what that could possibly be. But of course, I'll let you guys know if I see something that kind of like fills that role. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I've got. Again, let me know what you think. But until next time, thank you for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe.